Okay, so The Female Brain by I don't remember. Her name is weird anyway, but anyway, The Female Brain. I think everybody, absolutely anyone should get this book. It has some pretty great knowledge about female behavior and even male behavior, to be honest. And I think that everyone could learn a lot about it, especially probably parents. But nonetheless, I think everyone should get a lot of knowledge by it. So I'll start by dissecting the first chapter, and right off the bat, I have like so many notes, but right off the bat, one of the first things that this author tells us is that there is different. Obviously, there is differences between males and female brains, and obviously they're not all of them socially normatively acquired, which means that basically the like girls don't act away because they've been told to act away, neither guys act away because they've been told to act this way, which is good because it's against the norm we've been hearing in the media for such a long time, that we've been pushed by society to act a certain way. It's not true. It's not all of it is not true. Some of it is particularly true, but not all of it. And a lot of it has to stand between the differences that females have in their brains and males have in their brain. So this book really it answers a lot of questions, and I'm gonna tell what answers they answered to me. And I'm gonna read some of their paragraphs, which was pretty fucking amazing. So let's start just by saying the two main differences that there is between male and female brain, and I think everybody knows it, which is obviously female brains. They are structured in a way where they are more emotional. They have more sensitivity to emotion, to facial expressions, to communication, socializing, all this kind of stuff that relates to people. While the male brain doesn't really care. It just cares about the world around it. So that's, I mean, anyone knows about this. But the first thing that this is incredible. The first thing that really popped into my mind was what she answers about why the female, like why do girls like assholes? Why? And I'm gonna read the paragraph, and maybe you're gonna understand why. So she says, and I quote: "Baby girls are born interested in emotional expression. They take meaning about themselves from the look, touch, every reaction from the people they come into contact with. From these cues, they discover whether they are worthy, lovable, or annoying. But take away the sign point that an expressive face provides, and take away the sign points that an expressive face provides, and you've taken away the female's brain main touchstones for reality. Watch a little girl as she approaches a mime. She'll try everything she has to elicit an expression. Little girls do not tolerate flat faces. They interpret an emotionless face that is turned toward them as a signal that they are not doing something right. Like dogs chasing a frisbee. Little girls will go after their face expressions until they get a response. The girls will think that if they do it just right, they'll get the reaction they expect." And this is the best part. This is the best part. It's the same kind of instinct that keeps grown women going after narcissistic or otherwise emotionally unavailable men. If they think, if I just do it right, he'll love me. you can imagine then the negative impact on the little girls, the developing sense of self, of their irresponsive, flat face, or depressed mother. So yeah, right off the bat, it answers one of like the biggest questions we all ever was why female brain, why girls need so much to why do they like assholes and emotionally unavailable men. Well, it's that's not the only reason, obviously, that they like them so much, because an emotionally unavailable man also displays other signals to a female that they like social status and all other things. But this is gold, to be honest. Anyway, next one. Let's see. Next note. Okay, now the next note I have here is also very interesting. It's something I never really questioned myself. So I knew, obviously, I knew of this, but I never knew, well, like, what it entails. It was basically, why do girls have daddy issues? And I know this sounds ridiculous, but why do girls have daddy issues, right? And this little part, this little paragraph tells us why. So I'm gonna first tell the context. So the context is that there's two girls and they've been both raised by the same mother. Yet at the time that I think the first girl was raised, the mother had a very bad boyfriend, like a very nasty boyfriend, and he was constantly cheating on her, and she was always, well, very, well, she was badly, she was acting badly as a mother, because she was well, she was hurt, she was distrustful, and everything like this. So the chapter says this. It was this stressful environment that Jennifer spent her infancy. Jennifer became suspicious of everyone, and by age 6, started telling her older sister that their kind and beloved stepfather was certainly cheating on their mother. Jennifer was sure of it and repeated her suspicions frequently. Lisa finally went to their mom and asked if it was true. Their stepfather was one of those men who just didn't have it in him to cheat. And Shayla knew it. She couldn't figure out why her younger daughter had become so anxious, fixated on the imagined infidelity of her new husband. But Jennifer's nervous system was imprinted the unsafe perceptual reality of her earlier years, so even good people seemed unreliable and threatening. The two sisters were raised by the same mother, but under different circumstances. So one daughter's brain circuits had incorporated a nurturing, safe mom, and the other a fearful, anxious one. So it's also funny because apparently daddy issues don't come from daddy at all. They come from their mother, which is kind of funny. I had no idea of that. But yeah, it's a good way. I mean, if you want, like, this is, I feel like this is pretty common in like you can detect this kind of suspicion behavior by a lot of women. So I mean, if you suspect that there's some kinds of date issues, I think this paragraph will be very good for you. It will also make you understand the person better. And I mean, if you're also in a situation or in a relationship where the girl like mistrusts you and you don't really give her any reasons for that, I think this is a good paragraph for you to understand her better and obviously make things better within the the context of your relationship. Um, After reading this, of course, like I'm very well. It's sad that this kind of things happened, but now whenever I see a girl that has this kind of problem, I'll definitely be more understanding of where they come from. It also says in the next paragraph that it appears that boy may not incorporate so much of their mother's nervous system. So basically, boys don't really have this problem, which is, well, thank God. Yeah. After that, well, there is one more. One more question that it answers. Let me see. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now, this third question is, it's interesting. Why girls? Why are girls so manipulative? Like, why do they constantly manipulate you? Now, there's a good paragraph in here that I'm gonna read after, but the basic, and I never understood, because I knew for a fact that girls, they try to manipulate you like constantly, but it never occurred to me that what it meant, because for me it was just like, why are you trying? It doesn't work on me. Like, it's been so many times, it just doesn't work on me. It pisses me off. It just pisses me off at some point. And this book basically explains that this type of aggressive, manipulative behavior is basically, like, as a boy, as a guy, we don't really have problems with like, we don't really manipulate people that much, because to be honest, like, the environment that we are in is a playground for us. So we basically, like, we have muscles, we have well, we have intelligence, of course, but anyone has intelligence. But the thing is that because we are built in a different way, we see the world as our playground, and we fear of it, of course. But since we have more muscles and everything, we don't really care about the danger that it provides. While a female is much more in touch with those kinds of fears, and the only way to protect herself is by making friends, basically, to making social cliques and tribes and everything. And another way to defend herself, to get what she wants, is by manipulating people, because she cannot, like, as men, if we want something, we take it with force. We go, we punch a guy, whatever, we get it. As a female, that doesn't happen. Like, they can't really, like, go on a fight, because it will break the social circle they have, which they have to have to feel protected and secured. And yeah, so what they do is they manipulate you using the social norms, which is completely amazing. They will use the social norms against you to manipulate you. So a little, like, this paragraph basically says, like, I'll read it. This doesn't mean that girls' brains aren't wired to use everything in their power to get what they want, and they can turn into little tyrants to accomplish their goals. What are those goals are directed by a little girl's brain? To forge a... no, wait. What are those goals as dictated by a little girl brain? To forge a connection, to create a community, and organize and orchestrate a girl's world so that she's in the center of it. This is where the female brain aggression plays out. It protects what is important to it, which is always inevitably relationships. But aggression can push others away. And that would undermine the goal of the female brain. So a girl walks a fine line between making sure she's in the center of her world of relationships and risking pushing relationships away. And she's like, remember the wardrobe sharing twins? So this is basically like twins that would share their clothes, and basically she would like say, oh, can you like give me that toy so I can use it, or give me that dress so I can use it, and they would mutually exchange stuff. And but this explains why they needed, like they needed to do this type of behavior, which is, she says, when one asked the other to borrow the pink shirt in trade for the green one, she set it up so that if the other sister said no, she'd be considered as mean. Instead of grabbing the shirt, she used. Instead of grabbing the shirts, she used her best skill set, language, to get what she wanted. She was counting on her sister not wanting to be seen as selfish. And indeed, her sister gave up the pink shirt. She got what she wanted without sacrificing the relationship. This is aggression in pink. This is funny. Aggression means survival for both sexes, and both sexes have brain circuits for it. It's just more subtle in girls, perhaps reflecting their unique brain circuitry. So, like I said, this is very interesting because now you can know why they manipulate you. This might seem like nothing very interesting, but in the real world this might take a form as in, for example, let's say you're in a relationship and a girl like is cheating on you, and you kind of been discovering clues that she's cheating on you, and you confront her. You're like, what is happening? Like, I'm almost fucking sure like you're cheating on me. Why are you doing this? And this is how a girl might play you. She might say something along the lines of, wait, what? Like, why don't you trust me? Like, I've done everything for you. So this might seem like, the way she said it might seem like she's even telling the truth, but what she is using is very interesting. She's basically using the fact that you mistrust her as a way to make you guilty, like make you feel guilty, because it's the norm. When someone like accuses you of something, if they're wrong, well, then you feel guilty. She's exactly using that type of social norm, social behavior to basically keep the relationship with you, but also manipulate you the way she wants. Which is, I mean, after understanding this is beautiful. Like, I swear, I never understood why they did it, but this is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, for the first chapter, that's it, I think. This is for the first chapter, that's it. But more interesting stuff happened in the other chapters.